Hey, welcome back to LoveNesters. We are on our way to spectacular what?
Spectacular sculpture.
Sculptures and Holy Hill.
We're going to take in a walk at Holy Hill and enjoy the beauty of that basilica. It's going to be a fun day. Thanks for coming along.
Thanks for being here.
Today, we take a trip to the country. Our first stop is Spectacular Sculpture. This 6-acre property contains the home and studio of the artist Paul Bobrowitz. We learn from the artist himself the stories behind his incredible creations. Next, we tour a minor basilica, Holy Hill, which can trace its roots back to the 1800s. Thanks for joining us on another weekly adventure.
Hey, welcome back to LoveNesters. We are in Monchez, Wisconsin.
This is Spectacular Sculpture. We found some LoveNesters right behind us.
Spectacular Sculpture?
It is filled with wacky. You're going to love it.
Is it free?
It's free.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here.
So this is a 6-acre property, and it is lined with sculptures of all kinds. Looks like us when we were taking dance lessons right there. Some of his art is available for public viewing in different places around Milwaukee. There's so many different styles of art here, and to think it's all done by one man.
So, to me, gathering all this junk would take so much time, and then taking all this junk and making it into incredible artwork. This artist is incredible.
I think this guy has a great sense of humor. Oh, you gotta love this. His name is B.Q. Weber, and it looks like we're having chicken on the grill.
So I just love the creativity here. These are old, like, propane tanks. And not only did he use those, but then he put unique faces into every single one and then welded it in to this giant face. Very cool.
I just love seeing how these were repurposed. So these were all shovels. That's cool. That gives me an idea what to do with all Jeff's old shoes.
Let my hands do the work. Somebody is working through me.
Yeah.
I'm just the tool.
Yeah. Well, you must not sleep.
Oh,
From how much
I
stuff
sleep, I nap, I read a lot.
Yeah?
I watch a lot of DVDs. I listen to the news every night. Read the Milwaukee Journal.
How many pieces would you say you produce a year, though? Because there's so much
All
stuff
of them.
here.
Could I have an easier question?
Tell us about this piece.
The bear.
Yeah, tell us about the bear.
A woman came to me and said, my husband gets teased because he shot the smallest bear that anybody has ever harvested. Could you make a bear? And while I'm working on the bear, I realized that a bear's snout and head are very similar to a pig. So then I was able to make the pigs that are down there.
Yep.
Because I didn't make those pigs. I was able to make a pig. This is Uncle Andy with a couple of kids.
Okay.
And when I grew up, of my dad's 6 brothers and 2 sisters, my Uncle Andy was the one who sticks in my mind, as every time we saw him, he was like, hey, did you hear about, did you notice, just an enthusiastic guy that talked to us as kids. Here, that chunk of iron that makes up the basic skull is just a cast off from the tool and die manufacturing portion of the industry where they're taking a huge chunk of steel and cutting out positive and negative shapes to stamp thinner metal to make something.
Okay.
And I picked up that big chunk and added a nose and a mouth and hair and eyes and put it on this, breaking the chains, breaking the bonds,
Oh. See, I love hearing that part of it. It wouldn't even have occurred to me, the breaking of the chains. I love that.
breaking out of the mold.
Yes, I love that.
I use rocks as a symbol of nature. Everything that nature does affects us, and everything we do affects nature. A lot of times you'll see these connect pieces with people or birds or people and a dog. Here I put a column of rocks like my aching spine.
Oh, we can relate to that. This is called stepping out of the shadows.
Yeah, out of the box, out of the shadows, stepping out of the shadow.
What do you call it? The reverse image or whatever. Very cool.
Positive and negative.
That's the word.
Say.
There you go.
There you go.
Stepping out of the shadows, though. I love that.
And at that time, they were just starting to talk about the Les Paul Museum.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, across from the future Les Paul Museum, you gotta have this piece.
Yeah.
So that's what they took.
Oh, my
Oh,
goodness.
wow.
So that was the first guitar in Waukesha that possibly inspired the mayor at that time to start the painted guitar thing with the
Yeah.
fiberglass
Yeah.
tubes.
So these birds, they have faces, right, looking back, but they have faces looking forward too, right?
Yep.
What's the story behind that?
So it's that two-sidedness, public, personal.
Oh, okay.
It's a bird. I'm a bird. I'm a person. When I started doing this as a hobby in '89, I was working as a carpenter, making very good money, working all the time, but wasn't feeling fulfilled. Going through a midlife crisis at 30 some years, 35-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And realized eventually that I was making birds, like I'm flying away,
Yeah.
among other things, but making a lot of birds. And eventually when I started doing art fairs, I was making a lot of suns, and I eventually realized that I'm making suns on cloudy days.
Wow.
SAD syndrome.
Yeah. They have names?
Ian and Felicia do.
Jim and Felicia.
At the time, I was working mostly with materials that I had salvaged from the barns that I took down. So the gas tank torsos from tractors, and the propane tank heads, and the rib cage on GM, called GM because of the steering wheels and steering column feet,
Oh my gosh,
goodness.
I love that.
and hips made out of wheels, and the struts for arms, shock absorber struts for arms,
I love that. And I love the name.
and Felicia's supporting and hiding behind GM.
You seem to have a thing with frogs. What's that all about?
There's a whole story to the frog.
Yeah. Okay.
There is a Waukesha engine, had an engine that had a heat shield.
Okay.
And to make that heat shield, the piece, they stamp out a piece, and then they laser cut out the heat shield. And the piece that's left over yields these, and all of these parts.
Wow.
So I'm looking at these, which I've got a bunch of, and I figure that's a frog's mouth.
Oh.
And I took the Briggs and Stratton starter from my dad's homemade tractor,
Okay.
original engine, and made it into a frog. and took our first computer and made that into a frog. And then I'm looking at different things, and I saw the headlights that I'm getting, the rejects of the headlights. And those are frogs.
You just see frogs in everything.
And pretty soon I'm putting frogs on bikes and frogs on tricycles and frogs on scooters and frogs in bed reading books, and the frogs where the little girl frog is sitting in the stroller being freaked out by her brother hanging on the back of the stroller, putting a bug around to scare her.
Yeah, they're so creative and they have so much personality in them.
Bird wing,
Yep.
bird beak, human face, human arm, tree, birdman tree, being crushed by the weight of our overpopulated world. Concept of Christ-like being. Well, on the back you've got two different figures of different twisted metals, expanded wire mesh and re-rod, making up the trilogy, but also symbolizing the way religion is used to torture, kill, judge. Postpartum blues. Oh.
Postpartum blues, I love it. Well, we are so lucky that the artist himself, Paul, spent all this time with us today. Paul, thanks for joining us on Love Nesters. We appreciate it.
Oh, it's been fun.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Hey, welcome back to Love Nesters.
We just had a great time checking out all of the art here at Spectacular Sculpture.
Spectacular sculpture.
Yes, and it was free. It's free to walk around. It's open year-round. Highly recommend to stop here.
And a huge thank you to Paul, the sculptor. He walked us around, gave us insights on so many different pieces. What a wonderful person. Thank you, Paul.
Another great place to visit in Wisconsin. We try to go on these adventures once a week. We'd love to have you join us for the adventure. Like and subscribe to the channel.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here.
A short scenic drive away is Holy Hill. Hey, we are at Holy Hill Basilica, just outside of Hartford, Wisconsin.
It's a beautiful place any time of the year. We're going to take a tour of the grounds before the rain starts.
Thanks for being here. Hey, what's so nice about this trail is it's just beautiful. This is the beautiful Kettle Moraine scenic area. So you're getting both the nature and then the appreciation.
And it smells like springtime. It's beautiful here.
Is that me?
That might be you. So just a little tip, if you do want to do the Stations of the Cross in order, they do not start at the Basilica, they end at the Basilica. This scenic tower is something you can walk to the top for some great views. The site has been called Holy Hill since the 1800s when Irish immigrants began using the name. The Basilica is the third shrine to have been built on this site. The light coming in these stained glass windows is really beautiful. The main altar in the center of the church took 2 years to build. It is made out of marble and weighs more than 40 tons. This piece was exhibited at the 1876 World's Fair in Philadelphia.
Hey, we are at the Basilica at Holy Hill. This is a National Historical Monument, and it is a beautiful place. It's a great day to be here.
It sits on over 400 acres. We really enjoyed walking around the grounds.
Hey, welcome back to LoveNesters. We just wrapped up a fun day at Spectacular Sculpture and Holy Hill.
It was incredible to really hear the passion from Paul, the sculptor, and thank you so much, Paul, for showing us around.
If you too are looking for some ideas on how to keep your marriage fun and exciting, or just some day trip adventures, we hope you'll subscribe to our channel. If you're enjoying our videos, please give it the thumbs up. It helps other people find it.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here. Hope to see you next week. What the heck?
Do you get in the zone once you're...
What's a zone?
Where you're where you look up and you just put 12 hours into it, you don't realize you just did that.
No,
No?
because I get hungry, so I stop for a banana. I stop for lunch.
Like, subscribe.
This is how we communicate on LoveNesters.